ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतुसे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So before starting, I would like to welcome all of you who are attending today's session on Bhagavad Gita. So you are all welcome. And before starting, I would like to request you that some of you can share something from our yesterday's discussion. Then we'll proceed further. Anything, whatever you liked, whatever lesson you would like to say. Yes, Uma.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
We are discussing from last to last lecture that Arjuna saying that if our family members or our elders are died, then our younger generation will lead to some irreligious activities. So that he continues from the last verse that अगर मतलब जैसे फैमिली ट्रेडिशन लॉस्ट हो जाता है तो जो वहाँ की जो वुमेन्स रहेंगी वो गलत पाथ पे चली जाएंगी, तो उनसे जो मतलब जो चाइल्ड होंगे वो भी इररिलीजियस एक्टिविटी में मतलब इंगेज हो जाएंगे, रिलीजियस एक्टिविटी में इंगेज हो जाएंगे, तो फिर वो सोसाइटी के लिए गलत करेंगे। और अगर अपन ऐसे मॉडर्न डेज एग्जांपल में भी देखते हैं तो जैसे आजकल क्या होता है कि मतलब वाइफ भी और हस्बैंड भी दोनों वर्क पर चले जाते हैं, तो जो बच्चे रहते हैं वो घर पे अकेले फोन या टेलीविजन उनके साथ रहते हैं, तो उनका जो नेचर है वो खराब होते जा रहा है। मतलब वो इस सोसाइटी में उन मतलब वो ऐसा है कि वर्चुअल वर्ल्ड में ज्यादा जा रहे हैं और जो रियल वर्ल्ड है उसमें कम जा रहे हैं, तो उसके कारण वो बहुत सारी गलत एक्टिविटीज में पार्ट ले रहे हैं जो सोसाइटी के लिए अच्छा नहीं है।
Yes, definitely. Very nice. Okay, anyone else would like to say something from yesterday's discussion? So we also discussed one very important thing, that from yesterday we discussed whatever reasons Arjuna is giving, and he's also foreseeing the consequences because of this fighting. So he's predicting that if the fighting is done, then elder members will be killed, and because of lack of guidance from the elder members, these younger generations, they will be put into wrong habits, religious activities, and because of which entire society will degrade, and there will be completely unhappiness, disturbed conditions of life. And this is what we exactly see in modern days. So by comparing, we found that this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, that which is the descriptions mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, exactly that is happening today. What Arjuna is saying, this is happening today. And we discussed that because of having lack of guidance from elder people, especially those elders who have the knowledge of Vedic scriptures, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, so we see the modern world in which direction the youth of the world is going. And similarly, I also explained that the symptoms of Kali Yuga, the modern day symptoms, are also explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, and all those descriptions, some of the descriptions, symptoms I mentioned, and we exactly find nowadays. So that is why this proves that these Vedic scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, these are not mythologies, as said by Britishers. Britishers, just to drive away this Vedic culture out of this country, they tried to impress upon Indian citizens at that time in 19th century that these Vedic literatures, Vedas, it's all mythology. Mythology means it is not fact, but it is something like fiction stories. Just like we read fiction, so many fiction stories are there. So they try to prove like this, and many of the less intelligent Indians who didn't have proper knowledge about the Vedic scriptures, they accepted what Britishers they said that these are mythology, and in current scenario also we find many young people especially they don't believe in Vedic texts, and they also say this is mythology. This is all written by some person just to just for our entertainment, and it has no facts. It has no relevance in today's society. But this is completely a wrong conception, because the knowledge of Vedic scriptures, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam especially, this is all fact. Mahabharata, the battlefield of Mahabharata, is a fact. This happened in Kurukshetra 5,000 years back. And even now, the land of Kurukshetra is existing. Every one of us know. And if somebody doesn't know, if he has not gone to Kurukshetra, he can go. He can take some a train from Delhi in 4 or 5 hours. I think he'll reach Kurukshetra. Yes, am I right, Sandeep? From Delhi, it takes I think 4 or 5 hours to reach Kurukshetra.
So,
Yes.
3 hours या 2.5 घंटे लगते हैं 2.5 घंटे के आसपास सर.
3 hours. So Sandeep, one of our friends. 160 kilometers. Okay.
165, 160.
160. So Sandeep, one of our friend, he belongs to Kurukshetra, so he knows. You can ask him that Kurukshetra, the place Kurukshetra, is still existing. So how can somebody say that Bhagavad Gita is mythology? Bhagavad Gita is just a storybook. No, that's not correct. Kurukshetra is there, and this Mahabharata, battlefield of Mahabharata, it happened. Krishna was there, Pandavas were there. These were all historical personalities. Historical personalities means they are fact. It's not that they are just some imagination. Even some of the commentators on Bhagavad Gita who have a little knowledge of Sanskrit language, they have commented upon Bhagavad Gita, but they don't believe in the existence of the Supreme Lord, in the existence of Lord Krishna and Pandavas. They say that this body is like Kurukshetra, and these 5 senses are like Pandavas, and this intelligence is like Krishna. So in this way, they try to distort the meaning of Bhagavad Gita by misrepresenting the facts. But we should not be misled by these things, these propagandas, but rather we should try to understand logically, reasonably, that these teachings of Bhagavad Gita are fact, and not only these teachings are fact, but these are very much applicable nowadays also. Just like in yesterday we saw when we compared, that's how this, even in the very beginning, in the first chapter, the reasons which Arjuna is giving, this is also very practical nowadays. We are seeing what to speak of when Lord Krishna will speak, and he will actually defy all the reasons given by Arjuna, and he will establish the real duty, real religion one has to follow. So there is no question of those teachings, knowledge given by the Lord to be incorrect or to be irrelevant in today's scenario. That cannot happen. Even Arjuna's, whatever Arjuna is speaking, that is that we are finding correct. And similarly in Srimad Bhagavatam, whatever is spoken is very much correct. Even in Bhagavatam, there is detailed description about this material creation, how this material creation happened. Very step-by-step analysis is given in the Bhagavatam. Even in third canto, chapter number 30, one can refer third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter number 30. Lord Kapiladev, he very in detail, he explains how a child within the womb grows, and he explains that what is the growth of a child after 6 days, what is the growth of a child after 1 month, after two months, 3 months, after 9 months. So all these descriptions are given, and these descriptions exactly matches with our modern days medical researches, and it has been seen. And many of the doctors and the scientists, they were amazed when they read those sections of Srimad Bhagavatam in the third canto, which explains how this embryo, this child within the womb, the child grows within the womb. That descriptions in the Bhagavatam exactly matches with modern day scientists researches. So from these we can understand, and there are many more things which we also know, like we use yoga, science of yoga, and which is very much nowadays everyone practically all over world people are using this pranayam and science of yoga just to become healthy, just to become peaceful in mind as well as bodily health, to increase their bodily health. And similarly Ayurveda is there, a complete science of medicines, medical science is there in Ayurveda, and this is all coming from Vedic literatures. Nobody has written these things. No human being has created these teachings. This yoga, science of yoga, science of pranayam, and this medical science, Ayurveda. And similarly there are astrologies, Vastu Shastra, and many more things. Sound therapy. Nowadays we hear in many of the countries they are trying to cure various diseases using sound therapy, which is known as sound therapy. That sound uh, has an impact upon our body. So they are trying to cure various diseases using sound, and this is all explained in various Vedic scriptures. We find descriptions that the sound vibrations, different kinds of sound vibrations have a different impact in our body and mind. And similarly, and we also have observed many times that if we are we have observed that in different kinds of sound vibrations, the different kinds of sound vibrations have different impact in our mind and even in our body. If you live too much in those environment where all kinds of nasty sounds are produced, just like pop songs are being played in parties, and many people they are just means unnecessarily joking and shouting, howling. So in those sound vibration, one becomes disturbed. One feels unpeaceful, isn't it? And if you live in a nice, soothing environment, where is very nice sound vibrations, uh, that helps us to become peaceful. Our mind becomes more peaceful. And similarly, there is the divine sound vibrations also. So this chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which I have already told you, this simple mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So when one chants, when one pronounces this simple Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it produces a great means transcendental sound vibration, which cleanses our heart and mind, and which enables us to become purified, and hence the mind and body and intelligence, everything gets purified. So this is we know the effect of sound vibration. One of the Japanese scientists, he has also done a experiment on effect of sounds. he put various pots having same water in different environment, in different environment of sound vibration. So he observed after a period of time, when he again saw the crystalline structure of water, so he found that the pot which was kept in a sound vibration having very nasty or very, what you say, shouting, screaming sound vibration. So he found the crystals within that water were unstructured. It was very ugly to look at those crystals. But the same water in another pot, when it was put under a sound vibration, which was a very peaceful, soothing, or classical music, like in India, Vedic classical music. So that produced a very structured crystals, and that those crystals were very beautiful to see. So this was the effect. Even the sound has effect upon dead matter, just you can imagine. So what to speak of living beings? Certainly the sound vibration, various kinds of sound vibrations have a different kinds of impact upon our mind also, and body also. So that is why when we keep ourselves more to pure sound vibration, then we will definitely become pure. And when we become pure in our mind and thoughts, so definitely there will be peace of mind, and there will be happiness, and you will be surcharged with enthusiasm, energy, positive energy to perform your work also. And ultimately you will one is enabled to understand the spiritual subject matter. One can very nicely then understand the problems of life, the solution regarding it, the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Then one can very nicely understand. So this is the power of sound vibration, which is all. And this knowledge, this Bhagavad Gita, whatever we are hearing, so this is also a positive and divine sound vibration. These all these verses and the discussion which we are doing, this is also a divine sound vibration, which will help us, both you and me also, because I am also speaking, so I am also hearing and meditating, and you are listening, hearing, so you are hearing also. So both of us are getting benefited by discussing on Bhagavad Gita. And some of you who are regularly attending these classes, you must have felt also that I am getting some knowledge. And who are chanting regularly this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you must have felt that this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is so powerful. So gradually, if we keep chanting, the more attention and regularity we give to this process of Krishna consciousness, the more easily and faster we become peaceful, purified, and grow and advance. Okay, so this is what was the lesson we discussed from yesterday's verse. Now, the next verse, which is text number 41. I hope you are able to see this verse on the screen. So Arjuna is saying, Sankaro narakayaiva kulagnanam kulasya patanti pitro yesham yukta pindo kriya. So he says, translation, you can, some of you can read translation and purport. Divyans, you can read translation and purport.
Okay, sir. Translation: an increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down because the performance for offering them food and water are utterly stopped.
Yes, next purport also you can read.
Okay, sir. Purport: according to the rules and regulation of fruitive activities, there is a need to offer periodical food and water to the fourth father of the family. This offering is performed by worship and Vishnu, because eating the remnants of food offered to sir, scroll करेंगे ऊपर.
Yes, yes.
Remnant of food offered to Vishnu can deliver one from all kind of sinful reaction. Sometimes the forefather may be suffering from various types of sinful reaction, and sometimes some of them cannot even acquire a gross material body and are forced to remain in subtle bodies or ghosts. Thus, when remnants, remnants of Parasadam food are offered to forefather by descendants. The forefather are released from ghostly or other kind of miserable life. Such help rendered to forefathers is a family tradition, and those who are not in devotional life are required to perform such rituals. One who is engaged in the devotional life is not required to perform such action. Simply by performing devotional service, one can deliver hundreds and thousands of forefathers from all kind of misery. It is stated in the Bhagavatam.
देवर्षि भूताप्तॄणां पितॄणां न किङ्करो नायं नृणीचराजन् सर्वात्मनाय शरणं शरण्यं गतो मुकुन्दं परिहृत्य कर्तम्. Yes, next you can read. Anyone who has.
Anyone who has taken shelter of the Lord's feet of Mukunda, the giver of liberation, given up all kind of obligation and has taken to the path in all seriousness, owes neither duties nor obligation to the demigods, sagas, and general living entities, family members, humankind, or forefathers. Such obligations are automatically fulfilled by performance of a devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yes, okay. So this is also one of the very important verse which Arjuna is explaining. He is giving the reason that when this Sankaro Narakayeva, in the previous verse Arjuna said that if the elder members of the family are killed, you can mute yourself.
Yes.
One, okay, now. So in the previous verse, Arjuna said, so if the elder members of the family are killed, then the younger generation, they are just engaged in irreligious activities. They become independent. What happens then? There is unwanted children. They produce unwanted children. Sankara, Varna Sankar. So now he is saying, Sankara Narakayeva, these unwanted children will make their own life hellish and others' life also hellish. Kulagna Nam Kulasya, for those who are killers of the family and for the family, for both of them. Patanti Pitro Hiesham Lupta Pindo Dakakriya. So in this verse, two things are very important to note, which I'll explain briefly. One is that performance of Pindo Daka Kriya. I hope you must have heard about this Pindo Daka Kriya. Pindadan. Everyone has to do
जी प्रभु
Pindadan for their forefathers. Your father must have done. My father, just like he did for my grandfather when he died. So this is a performance, so that one's forefathers, if somehow or other by mistake, even if they are very good, they were very good people, but still nowadays somehow or other one is committing unknowingly or unknowingly some kind of sinful activity. So because of those sinful activity, when one dies, he has to suffer in hellish planet. And sometimes if somebody is more sinful, then he gets a body of ghost. He is not allowed to enter into another body. He is not allowed to go into another species of life. He becomes a ghost. And ghostly body is a very miserable condition of life. So just to free them from those conditions, whether in hellish planet or whether he has is entangled in ghostly bodies, So one is supposed to do this pinda udaka kriya. Pinda means offering of food, udaka means water. Udaka means water. So then what happens? This pinda, offering of food, is actually nothing else but a prasadam of Lord Vishnu. One goes to Gaya. In Bihar, there is one place Gaya, and there is a temple of Lord Vishnu. Still, there is a lotus feet of Lord Vishnu is there, and one goes there and offers the pinda to their forefather, and which is actually nothing but prasadam. Food offered to Lord Vishnu is offered to those forefathers. So by the mercy of Lord Vishnu, those forefathers, when they get this pinda and udaka, they become free from their conditions, their hellish conditions of life where they are suffering. So in this way, they become free from those conditions, and they are again eligible to get a birth in this on this earth planet, either as human being or animals according to their karma. But at least they become free from hellish condition of life. So, but if one does not perform this pindodaka kriya, the certainly one's forefathers they remain perpetually in hellish condition of life for many number of years, millions of years they have to suffer there. So this is a very important performance one has to do. That is why I have seen in my own family, my father, when this is getting delayed, this was getting delayed, he was very much in stress, anxiety. He was thinking that this must be done, this must be done. Now, but another point, somebody may say, like in today's generation, younger generation, so-called educated generation, somebody may say, oh, this is all mythology. Who has seen when you give some pinda and udaka, pind and water to forefathers, who is seeing how they are getting there? They are in some different planets, they have died, who knows where they have gone. So how do they get this pinda and udaka? So this is all nonsense and bogus propaganda, mythology. This is just to cheat the public. No, this is not at all a correct conception if somebody thinks like this. Although this has been misutilized nowadays, and we see in Allahabad and Gaya you go, there are so many so-called Pandit who try to cheat people and try to just earn more and more, try to get more and more money. But still, whatever, if somebody is a bona fide authorized person, when he makes this offering, that goes. So for this, just to clarify it, I'll give just one a very simple example for this. That how yesterday or 2 days back, I gave this. I gave the example that how when a student, when a son who is sitting some another corner of the world, he receives the money through net banking. The father sends him the money through net banking, and although he is sitting somewhere else, but still he is getting the money. Or suppose when a son who has got a job in America, he is working in America, and his parents they are living in India, so he also sends money in India. So how does he send? He sends through net banking. So the government has made some arrangements, some websites, some processes are there. So authorized processes are there, authorized websites are there of authorized banks. So when using those authorized websites, payment gateway, we make the transaction, then those transactions are sent to other part of the world. So if a human being can make such an arrangement, so how is it impossible for the Lord to make such an arrangement? Is it not logical to think that Lord can make such an arrangement by which simply by being offering some food here on this planet Earth, our forefathers who are present in some different planet, they can get that prasadam, mercy, and because of eating that prasadam of the Lord, they get liberated. Is it difficult to understand this thing? Or should I give some another example? Are you able to accept this?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So it's very much possible. It is very much
Zero.
possible. Using our ATM, we are able to draw money from ATM machine, and this ATM machine and this system is being made by human beings. So why can't God make such a system? What is the difficulty to accept this thing, that the Supreme Lord can make such an arrangement by which we can offer food here and our forefathers can get there by reciting various mantras? Just like I just explained about half an hour, the power of sound vibration. In earlier battlefield in Vedic ages, the Kshatriyas, warriors, used to have weapons which were operated through pronouncing various kinds of mantras, just like Brahmastra. They used to operate Brahmastra. Brahmastra is what? It's just a blade of grass. But the person, the warrior, who was having the proper knowledge of Brahmastra Vidya, he used to pronounce those mantras properly with purity, with all rules and regulation, and he used to empower that single blade of grass, so much so that that same single blade of grass was capable of destroying the entire universe. That was the power of these mantras. Nowadays, because we are not so much intelligent, and because we have lost all our mantras purity, and we can't follow rules and regulations, so we are dependent upon machines, yantra. So ours is yantra technology, and earlier people were more intelligent, so they had a better technology. Better technology, mantra technology. Mantras are more subtle, and yantra or machines, yantra is gross. So earlier people used to have airplanes, but they didn't use any petrol or diesel. They used to have vimanas, pushpak viman. We hear Ravana has pushpak viman. So they used to drive those airplanes not by some mechanical arrangement, not by some yantra technology, but using mantra technology. So they had a better technology, and there was no pollution also. There was no crashes also. Everything was so perfect because of because of being run by a superior power, mantra, sound vibrations. Similarly, here also, lupta pindo daka kriya. So this is done by the pronouncing of various mantras, and of course, the most important thing is that this food is first offered to Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Lord, and because one has offered it to Lord Vishnu, so it has become prasad, mercy of the Lord, and then it was transferred to their forefathers, and they got liberated. So now the second point comes, which is even more important for us, because we are directly practicing Krishna consciousness or spiritual life. So it is very much important for us, because Pindodaka Kriya, we don't know right now. Nobody knows the means complete process. Even if you go to Allahabad, Banaras or Gaya, the so-called Brahmins and Pandit, they also don't know completely. So one may think that now how can we execute this Pindodaka Kriya? But there is a solution, and even it is more powerful actually. And what is that? Because just try to understand the principle behind this. The principle was that you are offering prasadam of Lord Vishnu to your forefathers. But if you yourself become a devotee of the Lord Vishnu, you yourself, your life becomes in such a way, you lead your life in such a way that all your actions and thoughts and principles, your lifestyle is centered around pleasing or satisfying the Supreme Lord Vishnu and serving him, then automatically all of your activities become prasadam. So all the forefathers are naturally, they are promoted, and they are all naturally they are liberated, and this is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and the verse is quoted here. I'll again go back to that verse. It is written here. You are able to see this word. Devarishi bhutatma nrinam pitrinam na kinkaro na ayam rini charajan. Rini matlab means this one becomes a debtor. If you have taken some money from somebody, you become rini. So what is explained here? It is said that one becomes free from all the rin, all the debt, whether from deva, demigods, rishi, or some other living entities, or pitrina means forefathers, or servant, from everyone, because we are all rini, debtors to all the living entities, so many people. We are not just debtor to our parents or our means a person from whom we are getting help. Actually, we are getting help from so many living entities. From demigods or devatas, we are getting so much help. From sun, we are getting sunlight. From Indra, we are getting water. From Vayu, we are getting air, Vayu Devta. And from Varun Devta. Similarly, so many demigods. We are getting so much facilities. So we are indeed in obligation. Just like when we get the supply, electricity supply from government, so we have to pay the bill, isn't it? And in cities, for water also one has to pay the bill. If you are living in a rented room, you have to give the rent. So similarly, we are getting sunlight, moonlight, and water, and air, and place to live on this earth. So we are rini, we are obliged to them. And if we don't pay the bill, we don't pay the tax, then we remain rini. And then we have to suffer for this punishment. We have to get the punishment for this. And similarly, this is from demigod side. And then there are various rishis, just like Srila Vyasadeva, Narad Muni, and so many other rishi munis, Patanjali. We are using yoga, pranayam, Ayurveda, astrology, and we are having Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, Ramayana, all these Vedic scriptures. These are all given by great rishi munis. So we are rini to them also. We are obliged to them also. We are debtor to them. So we have to pay tax to them also. Tax means not money, but we are a debtor. And if we don't do, then we will get the punishment. And Bhut, Apt, and Nrinam means various living entities on this planet. Just like we are debtor to India, the government. Government is giving so much facility to us. So we are debtor. And we are debtor to our parents. We have debt towards our teachers, our friends, our relatives, and so many other doctors, policemen, defense army. So many people, they are helping us, giving us complete facilities and protection. So we have debt for them. So if we just calculate and we write down the list of the names for all those persons to whom we have to give taxes, or we are debt, or we are having debt for them, then the list is very lengthy. Our entire life will be finished just to finish these debts, and we will not be able to even finish those debts, because in Kali Yuga nobody is having any resources. That is why earlier ages, in Vedic ages, everyone was supposed to perform yagya, and through those various yagyas, one every day at least one has to perform 5 kinds of different yagya, pancha shunya yagya it was said. And if one does not perform those yagya, then one remains dead, and one has to get punishment in hellish condition of life for this. That's because he has received the resources, but he is not paying for that. Now, in Kali Yuga, the Supreme Lord understands that nobody can pay for these debts. So he has become more merciful. That is why in the second 2 line it is written, Sarvatmana yah saranam saranyam gato mukundam parihritya kartam, means Sarvatmana, with all our mind, yah saranam saranyam, if one takes shelter, saranam, saranyam, this word is very important actually, saranyam. Saranyam means a person who is completely worthy to take shelter of. It's not, this is very important. Saranyam is only Gato Mukundam, Lord Mukunda. Mukunda, Lord Krishna, he is only Saranyam. Means only he is the only person completely fit or qualified to take the post of Saranyam. That means he is only the person who can give shelter to others, other living entities. Because everyone else is entangled in this material world. So if somebody else is entangled in this material world, how can he give shelter? Suppose if many people, they are drowning in an ocean, they are just drowning. So how can a person who himself is drowning can save other? If in a room there are 10 people and all of the 10 people, they are bound by ropes, very strong ropes, all their hands and legs, even neck, body, entire everything, he is bound. So how can all of them can help each other? This is not possible. A person who can help, he must be free from the foundation, from the ropes. Similarly, here also in the material world, everyone is bound by these three ropes: Satogud, Rajogud, and Tamogud, mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Only the Supreme Lord, who is free from these modes, because he has created this world, so he is free from this world, reactions and modes and ropes. So he can give us shelter. That is why it is being mentioned here, Saranyam. So one who takes shelter of Saranyam, Mukunda, so he does not have any debt to perform, to give. He is free from all kinds of debt. And then he can become completely peaceful and satisfied, getting the shelter. So that is why when one executes the simple process of Krishna consciousness, which is simply you have to chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and you read Bhagavad Gita, try to understand the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and whatever simple thing, those instructions which are mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, which we will discuss, those are very simple instructions. The most important one is the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is why I introduced it in the beginning only, and almost every day I am telling this. This is the most important instruction of the Supreme Lord given in the Bhagavad Gita, and there are few more to support these important instructions. We'll cover those things. So if one can simply just follow this simple, this is not very difficult, and one does not have to leave anything to follow these simple instructions of Bhagavad Gita, because Supreme Lord understands. He is Supreme Lord, Supreme Well-Wisher, Supreme Father. So he will not give any process which will be difficult for the living entities to perform. He understands our situation. So that is why Bhagavad Gita, the whatever instructions are given in Bhagavad Gita, these instructions are very simple to follow. One simply has to understand it thoroughly, get the knowledge, proper knowledge from authorized processes, and in this way, and those teachings, these teachings of Bhagavad Gita, they are very simple also to understand. It's not that you have to become very intelligent. You have to learn some rocket science to understand these simple teachings. Like just now, from last 15 days, whatever I am discussing, so do you think there is any need of having some rocket science to understand these things? How many of you think that these are very simple to understand? Even a child of 8th class, 10th class, 6th class, he can also understand. You can raise your hand technologically, or you can speak also. Yes, how many of you think? Yes, okay. And what about rest, other devotees, other students? What do you think? Especially those who are attending regularly. I'm not saying about 2 students who have just joined, but especially those students who have regularly attended. What do you think? Yes, Sandeep.
यस सर
What do you think?
बिल्कुल आसान है सर समझना बहुत आसान है सर
Yes,
बहुत सिंपल
very easy. We need not to become a great scientist, to become a great doctor, great engineer, or anything of this material world. We need to have a great intelligence, a good talent, and along with that, we need to put a lot of endeavor and effort. But just see, to understand the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, we don't require so much intelligence and talent. We simply require these 2 things. Do you know what are those 2 things? One is seriousness, gambhirta, and second is nishtha or faith. Seriousness means that we regularly attend this. Just like if somebody is serious for cracking some exam, just like we all, some of us have tried for IIT JEE. When I was preparing for IIT JEE, I used to study for 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, and so many classes. Almost 6 hours I used to take classes. And sometimes when I was living in Kota for around 10 months or 11th month, so for for almost around 60 to 70% of the time I was so much ill. My body was very ill. My health was going down, but still forcefully I was attending all the classes. Even if in the class I was getting sleep, I was getting bored, and sometimes inspired, sometimes not inspired, but still I used to go and attend. Every day I used to attend classes for around 5 to 6 hours daily, continuously, every day. Even on Sunday, I used to give exams for 6 hours, because IIT had 2 papers earlier, 3 hours of each. So we used to give 2 papers of 3 hours each on every Sunday, and Monday to Saturday we used to attend all the classes. And just imagine, just for a simple this one exam, IIT JEE, just to crack it and get a good college. But what is the use? Okay, I got a good job, okay, good money, but there's no happiness and satisfaction in this line. So you can just imagine how much serious we should become to get the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, to attend these classes. And you don't have to give that much amount of time, 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours. I'm not saying that. If you simply give this 1 hour every day, and 15 minutes or half an hour for chanting this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you will gradually become purified. And that is called seriousness. Even if sometimes mind cheats you, and mind says, okay, don't attend today, what will happen, what is the big deal? If you don't attend class for 1 day, there is nothing going to be wrong. And sometimes while attending, you may feel bored, and you don't find your mind, actually you don't feel bored, but this is the nature of mind. The mind is so flickering in nature. Any object of this material world, anything, however great it may be, however opulent it may be, however wanted it may be, after some time we feel this the same object becomes bored. We become bored, isn't it? Am I wrong or right? Yes, anyone?
Right, sir.
Yes, Prabhuji,
Right now? Yeah, this is our
Right, sir.
experience.
Yes, sir.
The most cherished object of this world, even if we get that same object become a source of boring for us. Just like Android phone, you take for example, earlier when I was in, I think 7th or 8th class, my father once he first he brought this one Nokia phone, this 1600 black and white Nokia keypad phone. So we were so much I was so happy to see that, oh, we have the mobile. So only 1 or 2 games were there, Snake and some 1 or 2 small games were there. And I used to spend whole day playing those games. But what happened? After few months, few years, this is nothing. Now if somebody gifts you that Nokia phone, what you will think? You will become angry upon him. So after some time, the Android came, color phone came, and then Android came. And now everyone has an Android phone. So still we are bored. After a few months, the same Android phone for which we were thinking so much that I'll become so happy, that same Android phone does not give us happiness. It becomes a source of boredom, and we don't find any pleasure there. And similarly, those who are young boys, they aspire for having girlfriends. But what happened? Even if somebody gets a girlfriend, he becomes more frustrated, and his life is wasted, energy is wasted, money is wasted, time is wasted, and he himself is wasted. The only girl is she gets another boyfriend. So what is the use? I'm not saying you don't get married, but till the time you are bachelor, everyone is bachelor, Bachelor of Technology, Bachelor of Engineering, Bachelor of Art, and Bachelor of so many things. So why not to remain bachelor in this period of time? Why to get entangled into this complexity zone to aspire for having a girlfriend? It is completely what you say, a waste of time. It will divert us from our goal. That is why government also understand. That is why they have named it BTech, BE, BA, BSc, like this. So we should follow this and not unnecessarily get entangled in these things. So any object. So it is the nature of mind. We should try to understand. So we should not look. We should not run our life according to the demands of mind. Rather, we should be intelligent enough. Using our intelligence, we should lead our life. And intelligence is that this classes of Bhagavad Gita, this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is beneficial for me. And it is the only process by which I can actually become completely satisfied and happy. Then why not to become serious for this? By regularly becoming regular to attend these processes. So then one can experience purification and bliss also. Okay. So in this way, one who takes shelter of the Supreme Lord by this wonderful process of Krishna consciousness, then he need not to worry about any obligations, because all other obligations which are from either from demigods, rishi munis, or other living entities, they all are servants of the Supreme Lord. Just like if you are a citizen of India, if you have paid taxes to the central government, then you need not to separately pay all other taxes. And if similarly, just like if you feed the stomach, so you need not to worry about different organs of the body for their energy. The energy will be automatically supplied. And if you have watered the root of the tree, then you need not to fear about the fruits and leaves. It will automatically get nourished. So similarly, the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, is the root, is the foundation of everything. So if we just surrender to him and just try to follow his instruction, become connected to him by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then automatically all other debts are fulfilled and there will be no need to perform any other kind of obligation. And with one example, I'll just stop here. This one example for 2-3 minutes. And you must have heard about this example of Prahlad Maharaj and this Narsingh Dev Bhavan. So when Lord Narsimha, he appeared and killed Hiranyakashipu. So after killing Hiranyakashipu, Lord Narsimha Dev, he told Prahlad Maharaj that, my dear Prahlad, you may ask any benediction from me, because I have appeared, because the Supreme Lord, he is Varadraj. Varadraj means the best of the best among who gives benedictions or Varadan, blessings. So he is Varadraj. So naturally he feels that if I have come somewhere, I have given some mercy to somebody, then he should ask something from me. Otherwise, people will insult me. They will say that, they will call ill name. They will say that this devotee of the Lord, Supreme Lord, he served him so much, but the Lord didn't give him anything. So that is why Lord has to protect his name. So he was telling, it was a like a joke, means a joke among a fun, or what you can say, humor between the Lord and the devotee. So the Lord said, but actually it's not that just humor, but Lord can give anything, whatever one desires. So Lord, he asked Prahlad Maharaj that, my dear Prahlad, you have served me so nicely, so you can ask any benediction from me. If you will ask entire universe, I'll give you entire universe also. What to speak of some small thing of this earth planet. But Prahlad said, no, my dear Lord, I don't want anything. Because you have come in front of me, you have accepted me, so I got everything. What else do I need? But the Supreme Lord said, no, still you should ask something. So on forcing so much, giving so much pressure to Prahlad Maharaj, then ultimately, just see, Prahlad Maharaj is a small 5-year boy only. He is not so great, by age. He is not so elder person. But still, because he was devotee, he had complete knowledge. So that 5-year small boy, when the Lord forced him too much that you should ask something, then ultimately Prahlad Maharaj said, "Oh my dear Lord, if you want to give me something, then kindly destroy all the desires, all the other desires from my heart, all the material desires from my heart. I should have only one desire, to serve you." Then the Lord became, oh, he's not ready to ask anything. Then again he forced him. Then ultimately Prahlad Maharaj asked one thing, that my dear Lord, if you want to give me something, okay, I pray to you that this father, Hiranyakashipu, my father, he has means so much, he went, he was so against you, and he killed so many of your devotees, brahmanas and cows. He did so many sinful activities, and you have kindly killed him. So my desire is that you forgive him and you deliver him. You kindly deliver him, you forgive him. Then Lord Narasimhadev said, what you have asked, this I have already given to you. What to speak of this one father? Because you have properly situated yourself, you have become my devotee. So what to speak of your father? Your 21 generations are already delivered. I have already given them mercy. They are already liberated and delivered. What to speak of one generation? So this is the guarantee given by the Lord himself, that if one takes to the process of Krishna consciousness nicely, then he can liberate himself also. He can himself become happy and satisfied, and he can liberate his relatives and parents also. Okay, so with this I'll end, and if there are any questions, you can ask for 5 minutes, or we'll stop. Hare Krishna. So are there any questions? Yes. Any questions? Anyone is having any question? No question? Everything is clear? Any comments you
Yes,
would
Prabhuji.
like to? Yes. Yes, Shivam.
No, Prabhuji, I have no questions.
Okay. Umang, you?
Prabhuji, I want to ask that if someone committed a sin, someone is killed to another person, and in the next birth he killed that another person killed that person, and this chain goes to eternity, then if someone in the middle of the way goes got liberation, then it is cheating for the another one, na?
Okay, okay, I understood. Because you are an engineer. uh, every engineer has this kind of question. Because in engineering, we solve such kinds of question in mathematics or coding, and an infinite loop. If you have read coding, any coding subject, so we study there infinite loop. So, but this is not applicable here. So what happens when a person has killed somebody? That person who is killed, he gets a right that he will also get the opportunity to kill the other person. But it's not necessary that he will kill him, because he will get the opportunity. But if he is a devotee, if he understands this killing is not good, that even if he gets the opportunity to kill the other person, but he may not kill. You understand? So it's like that. Not necessarily. And if the person in between he gets liberated, then also there is no problem. The other person, if he has done something criminal activity, his sinful reactions will be fulfilled by some other sources. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Those
Hare
Divyans,
Krishna.
yes, Shiva.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, as yesterday you said about that you defined this term duty in tomorrow or next time. But I want to ask you that in today's time, that little bit you will explain about little bit how can I perform my duties without attachment.
Okay. So see, Shivam, the question is how can we perform our duties without attachment now at our level. So at our level, what we have to do, see, one thing is this detachment from material objects. It's not that it will be there, detachment will be there very soon. It may take some time. But the important thing is that even if we are attached, we should get connected to the Supreme Lord. Our business is there are two processes. One is artha pravritti, another is anartha nivritti. Anartha means these unwanted things. Nivritti means to become free from unwanted habits, unwanted things like this attachment towards material object. And another process is artha pravritti. Artha means something wanted. Pravritti means to increase. So artha pravritti means attachment towards the Supreme Lord. So we focus more on artha pravritti. That means we try to increase our attachment towards the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, by reading Bhagavad Gita, understanding, by getting knowledge about the Lord. And when we engage ourselves in this process, in this positive process, instead of trying to perform negative process, that is to become detached from this material objects, we should try to adopt the positive process, which is more easy to perform and more practical also for us. So when we increase our attachment for the Supreme Lord, and at the same time, whatever duties we have, even if we are attached, we can do, no problem. But if we are regularly chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra and getting the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, then gradually will become properly situated. And simultaneously we can engage our duties of study or our job, whatever is there. Okay. So my suggestion is that you should focus more on increasing your attachment for the this process of Krishna consciousness, for chanting, for listening to the lectures of Bhagavad Gita. And sometimes we in 4 5 months 6 months to 1 or 2 times in a year we do various yatras, camps. So you can attend those. That will boost up your attachment for the Supreme Lord. Okay, you understood?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have one more question. That
Yes.
how can we chant attentively and enthusiastically? Uh, as
Yes. Okay. For this, if you just keep regularly attending, because if you are having the proper knowledge about the Supreme Lord, then it will become very easy to chant attentively or become enthusiastic to perform chanting. That is why this is very important that we keep attending these classes of Bhagavad Gita. That will inspire us daily. As soon as we stop reading Bhagavad Gita or attending classes of Bhagavad Gita, then gradually the mind will make us more discouraged, this unenthusiastic to chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So if you want to become more attentive in chanting, then you should become very regular in attending the classes of Bhagavad Gita, and gradually you will yourself feel. And this is one thing. And another point, that you want to increase your taste for chanting, attentiveness in chanting, so you should try to chant more. If you get extra time, you have more time, then you should chant little more also. The more you chant, the more the attachment for the holy name will increase. Okay. Okay.
okay, Prabhuji.
Divyansh and Santosh, were you able to understand today's discussion?
Yes, sir.
Was it fine?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Santosh.
Yes,
What
sir.
is okay? So Divyansh and Santosh, this was your first class, but no problem. I request you that you can continue attending these classes, and definitely, even if you were not able to understand something from this class, in few days you will be able to nicely understand. Okay, and you can be in touch with Umang, and you can ask him whatever questions you have, whatever understanding you have. So you can ask him, or you can ask me also directly when we are discussing. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I have a one question.
Yes.
Sometimes I feel something bad, evil things inside me. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, Feelings,
Yes.
evil feelings.
Yeah, I understand. So not only you, but everyone has, because this is the nature of mind. By default, in this age of degradation, everyone gets the same mind. Same mind means everyone's mind is by default having some kind of negativity. And the best thing which I have already explained, instead of focusing on those negativities, if we just focus on this process of Krishna consciousness, knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, chanting of Hare Krishna, and regularly attending these classes, then automatically gradually this negativity will go away. Just like, if suppose if you have any disease, if you have some fever or anything, any of the disease, so instead of focusing upon the disease, what you should do, you should visit a doctor and you should take the medicine, and you should instead focus on regularly taking the medicine, and then gradually the medicine will itself automatically destroy the disease. So you need not to focus on the disease itself. You understood?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So no problem. Even if you have any negativity, don't worry. There is nothing, no negativity, however great it may be, there is nothing in this world which cannot be removed by the process of this Krishna consciousness, this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Because anything may be there that cannot be greater than the Supreme Lord. Just like sometimes what happens, many problems come. One faces a very challenges, many problems. Then what he starts thinking? He starts thinking that, oh, my problems are so big. My problems are so big. Just see, what can I do? Where I am, I cannot do anything. These problems are so big. But instead of telling that my problems, my challenges, my negativities are so big, what we should do, rather we should say to those problems and challenges and negativities, that just see it. Oh, my dear problems and challenges, just see, my Lord is so big. You cannot stand in front of this my Supreme Lord. So he is more bigger than the any problem of this world. Okay. And you can definitely whenever you feel anything, means anxiety, stress or negativity, you just chant this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Keep in some silent place, you chant, not within your mind, but loudly you should chant, just like this: Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If you chant like this and focus on the Supreme Lord, the sound vibration, then definitely it is guaranteed. I'm not saying something theoretical, something imagination. You yourself can see this, and you yourself try, and you yourself will get the result. Otherwise, why should I uh, force so much upon this? I'm not any marketing agent that I should, or any politician. I have nothing to do with all of you. You are completely in another direction. You are living in some of the places, you are studying engineering, and I'm somewhere else. What business do I have to force such thing? But this is guaranteed. I have experienced, and many of, not only I have experienced, many people they have experienced, even many such people who had so much degraded lifestyle, so much negativity. You are not that much negative, that much degraded, but there were many people who were so much degraded and negativity in their mind, but they all got through all this negativity simply by this process. Okay, so I'll request you start this. If you are already doing, then you continue this and keep attending these classes. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, sir.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else has
Hare
any comment or question? Last we can take, or we will stop. Okay, no problem. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for attending and listening to this lecture on Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna.